Ronald Fenty. Ronald Fenty was born in Barbados in 1954, and while he lived much of his life away from the global spotlight, he eventually became recognized around the world as the father of Rihanna, the internationally acclaimed singer and entrepreneur. A native of the Caribbean island, Ronald spent most of his years in Barbados, where he raised a family and pursued various business ventures. Though he stayed largely in the background, his connection to Rihanna ensured that his life would eventually become a subject of public interest. His death at the age of 70 came after a brief illness, with Barbadian media reporting that he passed away surrounded by loved ones. The exact cause of death was not disclosed, but his departure was noted by those familiar with Rihanna's journey and her roots. At the time of his death, Ronald Fenty was believed to have accumulated a net worth of approximately $10 million. This wealth was reportedly the result of his personal business endeavors, which he pursued independently of his daughter's success. Ronald had 6 children in total. With his former wife, Monica Braithwaite, he had 3, Robin, Rihanna, Rory, and Rajat. Additionally, he fathered 3 other children, Candy, Samantha, and Jamie, from previous relationships. The family resided in a modest home in Bridgetown, the capital of Barbados, which later became a cultural landmark known as Rihanna Drive. It was within this humble home that Rihanna spent her childhood, often sharing living space with her mother and brother. She learned early life skills there, including how to cook, before leaving at 16 to chase a musical dream in the United States. Despite her fame, Rihanna never abandoned her Barbadian identity, and she continued to consider it her true home. Ronald's marriage to Monica was fraught with challenges, one of the most significant being his long battle with addiction. Their relationship left a deep imprint on Rihanna's early life. In a 2009 interview, Rihanna opened up about the domestic abuse she had witnessed between her parents, recounting the toll it took on her emotional and physical health. As a child, she suffered from intense headaches that were so concerning, she underwent several CAT scans. Doctors even feared she might have a brain tumor. These symptoms mysteriously vanished after her parents separated in 2002 when she was just 14 years old. Though the divorce brought some relief, the emotional scars from her parents' relationship stayed with her. Ronald, in Rihanna's eyes, became a complex figure. He was a source of pain but also of learning. While he was sometimes harsh and violent during her formative years, there were also positive memories that lingered. Over time, she came to recognize both the light and dark in his character, which shaped how she viewed him as a father. Their relationship endured several public rifts. One of the most hurtful incidents came in 2009, after Rihanna was assaulted by her then-boyfriend Chris Brown. Ronald, without her permission, gave interviews to the press about the event, a move that deeply wounded Rihanna. She later revealed in a 2011 Vogue interview that her father's actions felt like a betrayal, one she found difficult to understand. She struggled with reconciling how someone so close to her could speak so openly about one of the most traumatic events of her life without her consent. However, healing did eventually begin. In 2012, Rihanna appeared on Oprah Winfrey's show and spoke about the emotional work she had done to mend her relationship with Ronald. She described confronting the pain he had caused, but also made a conscious decision to separate her view of him as a husband to her mother from her personal experiences with him as her father. That emotional clarity allowed her to start rebuilding their bond, even though it remained fragile. But even after that reconciliation, new challenges emerged. In 2019, Rihanna took legal action against her father and his associate, Moses Perkins. She filed a lawsuit claiming they had misused her name to promote a company called Fenty Entertainment, falsely implying her involvement to gain credibility and attract business. The lawsuit alleged that Ronald had tried to capitalize on his daughter's fame by misleading people into thinking she was backing their venture. The case was scheduled for trial in 2021 but was ultimately dropped by Rihanna shortly before it began, suggesting a desire to put the matter to rest rather than escalate the family conflict further. Despite their differences, Ronald remained part of the public narrative surrounding Rihanna's life. The interest in her upbringing, her family, and her cultural roots often brought attention back to him. Rihanna's bond with her siblings, especially Rajat and Rory, was often highlighted through her public appearances and social media. She affectionately referred to Rajat as her son and celebrated special moments with him. Rory also supported his famous sister, even posting tributes to her achievements, such as her memorable 2023 Super Bowl halftime performance. As Rihanna matured and started a family of her own with rapper A$AP Rocky, her reflections on her childhood became deeper. With 2 young sons and a 3rd child on the way, she spoke openly about her commitment to breaking harmful generational cycles. Motherhood gave her a fresh lens through which to examine her past and the parenting she received. She became especially appreciative of her mother, Monica Braithwaite, recognizing her as a figure of strength, elegance, and unwavering love. In 2022, she publicly celebrated Monica's birthday with a heartfelt message, expressing how her own experience as a mother helped her better understand the sacrifices her mother had made. She remarked on how much she now saw of herself in Monica, not just in behavior but in physical traits and expressions. This bond grew even stronger as Rihanna embraced the responsibilities and joys of raising her own children. Monica had always played a special role in Rihanna's life, particularly in nurturing her love for fashion and beauty. Rihanna recalled fond memories of secretly using her mother's makeup, a habit that eventually blossomed into the creation of her own cosmetics brand, Fenty Beauty. Monica remained her lifelong style icon, someone Rihanna admired for her poise, skincare habits, and fashion sense. Though Ronald Fenty's story was often viewed through the lens of his daughter's fame, he had his own life story, one defined by personal battles, growth, and a complicated but enduring relationship with his children. His journey wasn't perfect, and the difficulties he faced often created tension, especially with Rihanna. Yet, in spite of everything, he remained an important figure in her narrative. He was present in both the triumphs and tribulations, leaving an undeniable imprint on her life. Ronald passed away with a large family left behind, 6 children and several grandchildren. His legacy, while entangled with fame, was also deeply personal. His life reflected both the struggles and love that come with being a parent in the shadow of an extraordinary child. And though he's now gone, his story lives on as a part of Rihanna's own. And with that, thanks for watching, share and subscribe.